The last naturally aspirated Ferrari V8 road car ever made is sitting on dealer lots right now for under $200,000, and most people are sleeping on it completely. Here's what we're doing today. Treating the Ferrari 458 Italia the same way Ed Thorpe treated a mispriced blackjack hand, finding the edge the market hasn't priced in yet. Because right now, the 458 is one of the clearest value opportunities in the entire exotic car space. I'm going to show you the data, walk you through the comparable models, and tell you exactly where I think this car goes from here. Let's get into it. First, some context. Ferrari launched the 458 Italia in 2009, and it was immediately recognized as something special. A 4.5-liter naturally aspirated V8, 570 horsepower, a flat plane crank that screams to 9,000 RPM, and a mid-engine layout that car and driver called one of the greatest driving experiences they'd ever tested. No turbos, no hybrid assist, pure mechanical feedback, in a way that Ferrari has never, and I mean never, repeated since. Because in 2015, Ferrari replaced the 458 with the 488 GTB. And they did something that will define the 458's legacy forever. They bolted on 2 turbochargers. The 488 made more power, yes. Faster lap times, absolutely. But ask any 458 owner, any real driving purist, and they'll tell you the same thing. Something was lost. The linear throttle response, the analog connection between driver and machine, the operatic soundtrack at full chat, the turbos muted all of it. That decision was the 458's coronation as a collector's car. It just took the market a few years to figure that out. Now here's where the investment thesis gets really interesting. Look at what happened to the Ferrari 360 Modena. When the F430 replaced it in 2004, 360 prices dropped sharply. By 2010, you could buy a clean 360 for $60,000 to $70,000. People called it a bargain bin Ferrari. And then something changed. Collectors started realizing the 360 was the last of a certain breed, a simpler, more analog machine before Ferrari went full electronics. Today, a clean 360 Modena Spider trades between $130,000 and $160,000. That's a double or better from the bottom. The F430 followed almost the exact same curve, bottomed out around $80,000 to $90,000, roughly 6 or 7 years after production ended. It's now firmly back above $120,000 to $140,000 for clean examples, and the Scuderia variants are approaching $200,000. The 458 is just entering that valley. Production ended in 2015 for the coupe. We're 9 years out from end of production, which is historically right where these Ferraris find their floor. Current market clean 458 Italias are trading between $175,000 and $220,000. Spider variants a bit more. The Speciale, the lightweight high-revving track version, is already climbing past $300,000 and shows no signs of slowing. But here's the factor the 360 and 430 didn't have. The 458 is the last one. Full stop. Ferrari will never build another naturally aspirated V8 road car. They've committed to electrification and forced induction across the board. That's not a preference. That's regulatory reality. The 458 doesn't just represent the end of a generation. It represents the end of an era that cannot come back. Now who's buying? 2 distinct groups. First, driving enthusiasts in their 40s and 50s who have the money now and want the car they lusted after in their 20s. These buyers aren't flippers, they're keepers. They remove supply from the market permanently. Second, serious collectors who watch the 360 and 430 cycles play out and are consciously positioning ahead of the 458's inevitable appreciation. These buyers are disciplined and patient. Both groups are right, and both groups are pulling inventory off the market as we speak. One more thing worth noting. The 458's racing heritage. The 458 GT2 and GT3 variants dominated endurance racing globally. Le Mans, Sebring, the Nürburgring, this chassis won everywhere. Racing pedigree is jet fuel for long-term collector values. The 911 GT3 is the proof of concept. When a road car's DNA is validated on track, the street version carries that story forever. So here's the call. The 458 Italia, right now, is a strong buy. Specifically clean, low-mileage coupes under 15,000 miles in classic colors. Rosso Corsa, Giallo Modena, Bianco Avus. Avoid high-mileage track day cars with deferred maintenance. Those are value traps, not value plays. The Speciale is already moving, so if that's in budget, you're slightly late, but not too late. The base coupe is where the asymmetric upside lives today. I'd target a floor around $180,000 and a 5-year price target of $280,000 to $320,000 on a clean, documented example. That's not a guarantee. Nothing in this market is. But the comparable model data and the structural supply dynamics make this one of the most compelling risk-reward setups I've seen in years. The 458 is not cheap, but for what it is, the last analog Ferrari V8 ever made, it is absolutely, genuinely underpriced. If you want this kind of data-driven analysis on supercars every single week, subscribe and hit the bell. We treat the car market like a portfolio, and right now, the 458 is the position to own.